I'd like to show you a few more coins I've purchased. I've gone to the coin shop quite a lot recently because of the increase in silver. Though I don't buy out silvers at the moment because they're quite high, I do buy these coins because these coins were the value of the ticket price was done maybe a year or two ago, and so the element of silver in them has gone up quite dramatically while the actual price has still stayed the same. So this one, for example, nice Saudi Arabian coin. Now this one was £30, so this would be something like $45. So all the coins I've got here today I bought for £400, which at today's rate of about 1.37 to the dollar is about $550. So it's all $550 for all this item. So this one, a nice Saudi coin. Very nicely made. And I always like the Arabic, the script is so, you can make art out of the Arabic script because it's all these lines and circles and slender things, so it looks very pretty. And you've got the cross swords, which usually shows it is from Saudi, so I've put that there. Next one I've got is, I've been purchasing a few of these because they're still priced at 70 odd pounds or £75, and they haven't changed their price since 2 or 3 years ago. So, you know, even though the element of silver, this is about 25 grams of silver, the silver element and the silver price has gone up quite a lot, so it's about between about 55 and 60 pounds worth of silver in here. But who knows where the price will go. So 1805, so it's the time of the Napoleonic Wars. The Spanish still held Mexico and quite a lot of the South America, like Peru. So this one's Mexico, 1805, and you've got Carlos the Fourth. So I've showed you these sort of ones before. I'm going to get a little, I think he's still got about 10 of these still in his, he bought a big job lot. This one, another one, this one is Ferdinand the Seventh, 1815, Peru. So again, it's another Spanish king who was king or emperor of Peru, £70. So again, and again, you've got the coat of arms of Spain. So those ones I've got because I think the value of the silver's gone up. Then we've got this one, Brunswick. So this one's got, I think it is George the Third. Yes, it would be 1814, of course it would be George the Third. So he was also King of Britain, and he would have been King of Hanover, or Brunswick as well. So this one, 1814, again, similar sort of date as the other two. And it is 2/3 that side. It's quite a nice coin. So they're the ones I've purchased because of their silver content. Oh yeah, I've got another one, sorry. Just go back on that. There is one more I've got in silver. This one is quite a hefty one. West Friesland, 1615. This was £90, so this would have been something like $120, something like that, American dollars. But these are quite heavy. I think these are Thaler, which is where the Americans get their word dollar from. And again, you've got a little symbol there, and you can just about see the date there. You've got 16 where that little light dot is, and then you've got the other side of the date is that side. So I've got a few of these little Dutch ones, and I thought I'd get it while it's there. So they're all the, and it was about 330, I think, for all those three. And then I got loads of normal ones. So let's have a go. So I've got East Africa, 50 cents, half a shilling. 1937, with a little lion on it. Or big lion, really. East Africa. Now you've got George the Sixth on there. Nice picture there. Put him there because he's a bit silvery as well. Then we've got French Indochina. So this is when France owned or colonized what is now Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam, was all part of Indochina. They were invaded by the Japanese in the Second World War, and then after the Second World War, there was a fight for independence, which they got eventually, and 20 cents, 1941, so this is during the Second World War. Here we've got the French liberty. So that was a pound, so that was just, I think it's nickel or something like that. So a lot of these were just pound ones, so I get quite a few of these. Cyprus, 1956, 5 piastres, I think they are. Again, a pound coin. Now we got Queen Elizabeth, because Cyprus was part of the British Empire. Even today we have got some bases, some military bases in Cyprus. So when there's fighting in the Middle East, that's where a lot of the British send their squadrons to. Brazil, 1901. 200 Reis, República dos Estados Unidos. So United States of Brazil. £1 again. There we got the head of Liberty. Very similar to the Liberty head you get in the American coins. I thought I'd get this one. It's a bit more expensive, £8, but it's 5 or 1874. Denmark and all of the Scandinavian countries, they are a bit more expensive. You know, if you've got anything like France, Italy, Germany, this sort of coin would be more likely £1 or £2. But because it's Denmark and there's very few of them made, it's a bit more expensive. So there we've got Christian the 9th, is it? 1 before an X, that takes 1 off of 10, so it's 9, I think. Now this one's Nepal, 1960s or 1903 in modern or European date. Let us say 1 paisa. Again, it's £1. All these sort of Indian coins, Indian state coins, and places like Nepal and Bhutan, Tibet, they always look very old. They always look like they're 18th century or earlier, even though they were, 20th century, just into the 20th century. That again was at £1. Now this one is a tiny one. Travancore, again a state of India, 1 cash, £3. Now this one's got no date, so it's between 1928 and 49. Again, you've got that sort of shell type figure in the middle. And then you've got the writing that side. I'll take these a bit further out because I think they could be a bit more distracting. So I'll put them right up there. Out of shot, if I can. So it's not such a distraction. Then we've got here we got one, Iraq, 1938. It looks like a 3, but it's a 4. £1. Again, you've got the 2 dates on there, the Arab date and the European date. And there you've got the king on that side. Again, that's £1. Belgium, 1876, 2 cents. Belgium, you tend to get them in both languages. You sometimes get coins, they're in French and Flemish, which is very similar to Dutch. £2. Quite a nice coin with that lion. And on this side, you've got the coat of arms. This is all in French, I think it is. This one, another £2.50, this one. It's a very strange number, but there you go. 1951, British Honduras. So this is in Central America. I think it's now called Belize. 1 cent. And you've got the King of George the VI. Got another Indian state, Hyderabad, 1 pi. And this is about 1908 to 1909. Again, it's £1. So you got this, I think this is sort of like the signature or something like that of Muhammad. This is on, you get this on Egyptian coins, on Turkish coins. I think that's what it is. Or it means Muhammad or something like that. And on the side, you just got some design. Another very small coin. South Vietnam, 1974. So this was during I think the war was going on at this time. A very bloody and shame they had this war, because the Vietnamese had fought the French, then they fought the Americans, and then they fought the Chinese. So I think they've had enough of their fighting. That's only £1 as well. Lebanon, again another country in the news for all the wrong reasons. 1961, I think that's a 5, that sort of odd half oval type sort of thing, with the tree, or the cedar tree of Lebanon. £1 again. And we've got here, you've got a face of a lion with the 5 in European date. 5 piastres. This one we got, one is Monaco, 1989. £1 again. So by the 50s and 60s, people would stop using silver to make their coins, and they started to do things like other metal, copper, nickel, bronze, all those sort of things. So there we got Rainier III, Prince of Monaco. Monaco is a very strange place on the south, on the Mediterranean coast of France, stuck between France and Italy, and I think they're mainly under sort of French foreign policy and defence. Netherlands, 1919, 25 cents. So this would have been silver from that date. I would think it would be £4. So a nice little bit of silver for that price. And there we got Wilhelmina, Queen of Holland. So 1916, so 1919, just after the end of the First World War. Romania, 10 Barney, 1906. £1 again. I always find I like these sort of Balkan type coins because it is a time of change, you know, in the 1850s up to the 1890s, they were starting to pull away from the control of the Turks, and each was given a bit more independence. But it did cause a lot of trouble in the Balkans and partly responsible for the First World War. Switzerland, 1883. I think I've got three Switzerland. Because they are a bit boring, I'm afraid. But I thought I'd get them because I haven't got them. So as a collector, you have to have them. And these, you know, they have the same design, the same sort of thing from about 1880s up to about 1960s, I think. Again, it's only a £2, so why not? So that's a 20. This one is another one. 1893, 2 cents. Again, these are £2. Again, these are the same design, right up to quite modern period. And lastly, a Swiss one again, 1894, 10 cents. It's just £1 again, so what the heck, at least I can cross it off my list of coins. I've got a coin book for the period 1850 to 1950, 100 years, and that's the one I'm sort of using to collect at the moment. So I don't tend to buy anything after that. I do tend to buy stuff before it if I like it, but not after it. I'm not a modern coin collector. The trouble is, there's modern coin collectors, it's like modern stamps. There's so many of them. You have to be very specific, otherwise you can never collect anything. It's just too much. Hungary, 1908. And I find the coins were quite well made in the end of the 19th and the early 20th century. 10 Hella. Oh, is that it? Filler. Font. My Hungarian is very poor. Hungary, again, it's a very strange country because it's the language is much more closely related to Finnish, and the languages in Siberia, North Siberia, they're sort of similar to this, rather than the Indo-European that most European languages descend from. Oh, and we've got last one, again, another little French, Indochina, 1943, 5 cents. It's I think it's made out of, it's very light. I think it's made out of aluminium. A lot of aluminium and zinc were used during the First and Second World War for coins because of the shortage of silver and gold and copper. So they tend to use these very, very lightweight coins. And they got a hole in it again. I'm not sure if that is a reflection of the olden days when they used to use Chinese coins with holes in it, or whether it's something else. But so Vietnam in the past used to use Chinese style coins where you got a circular disc with a sort of square hole in the middle, so they could be threaded and then put to their belt, held a France estate. So I hope that was of some interest to you, and I'll come back to you again soon with some more items for you to have a look at, and I'll see if I can find some more stuff. I probably won't be going to the shop for a little while, get my bank balance straightened out again, but I hope you think that was worth the £400 or 550 odd US dollars for all these coins. Okay, thanks a lot. See you again soon. Bye.